AI, artificial intelligence. The two words, when strung together, summons up the mental imagery of future technologies, dystopian cities run by T-1000s, and terrible movies starring Will Smith.
I did not murder him!
Artificial intelligence over the last decade or so, to many, has just been a quirky buzzword that your wife's boyfriend throws into a conversation at a get-together to seem like they are in fact hip with the kids. And really is always something we've been kind of scared of. This fear being instilled in us by things like the aforementioned Will Smith movie, the Terminator movies, or at least the Terminator movies up until they got bad, the Matrix movies, and many more examples where AI is a very prevalent subject. And it's always portrayed as this horrific technology that inevitably ends up in humanity's demise. And really, I'm not sure if we actually need the AI for that, considering you as humans have about as much self-preservation as I have self-restraint around a hot glizzy. However, whereas in those movies we see the concept of AI being this hyper-advanced, scary apocalyptic thing that usually ends up showing the folly of humanity or some other moral lesson, in the real world, we couldn't really be any further from that. And really, if we were to go to war with the AI in its current state, I don't really think we'd have much to worry about. Unless, of course, you're afraid of going to war with the supermarket checkout machine, or software that can deepfake your favorite actors doing the dirtly, dastardly deeds and then using that footage to cancel them for it. Because really, that idea of the future's technology and the AI of the future makes our current AI look like an easy difficulty computer opponent from StarCraft. Having said that, we are now entering an era where AI is advancing at such an astonishing rate. Such a rate, in fact, that the memers on Reddit can't even come up with memes fast enough before some other AI-related catastrophe happens, spurring on all the doomers out there to tell us they were right and to prove us that being a prepper wasn't just a massive cope. Specifically in the last decade or so, AI has actually come a very long way in helping the world become a better place in so many different ways, like forcing half of retail and fast food workers to become unemployed, and to make lonely Asian men finally able to marry their phones, or allowing me to deepfake myself into parts of your life, but you know, who's counting? And because I know that if you're watching this, you are probably that same person that I'm sharing a singular brain cell with, I realize an explanation is in order. The AI of today is all based off of what is known as deep learning. What's that, you ask? Well, it's certainly not the name of my next porno, I can say that for certain. Deep learning basically sums up the fundamentals of most AI development. Deep learning is, in short, the process in which AI develops and learns to adapt and overcome or achieve its base core function, usually using the internet or data put in by a human to learn from in order to make it more efficient and better at its job. Most AI usually starts off real basic, like you humans. And as humans, you have to actually learn to improve at your core function, as does AI. But whereas as humans, it would take you 10 years of education to even understand a single episode of Rick and Morty, most AI can get 10 years worth of education within days or even hours. The best example of this being the chess and Osu AIs that were made many years ago, that although started out looking about as capable as doing their job as me trying to do math, within a week or so of playing against humans and AI, the AI were outperforming even the grandmasters of their respective fields. But don't worry, it's not as dystopian as it really sounds. AI is hella flawed. There's always going to be a missing component. The soul. The sweet, juicy... the soul. As humans, you all have the ability to understand human notions like what would be considered inappropriate, or when to give a response that doesn't sound like an IGN reviewer giving a stock review to a show that everyone actually enjoys.
You're so annoying. Just go away. I'm so done with you. Leave now, please.
Fine, I'll leave. I'll leave.
Now. Please. Thank you. I'm
I'll leave you
so
alone
happy that you're
forever.
finally gone. Heart, heart, heart.
Currently, AI are just reacting to the data and making the most logical response according to the stimuli and input they're receiving. There's no actual human response to what they do, or what would be considered a human-like response. Like, saying something racy would just be part of their programming. But to us, we know that that's bad. It's that human adaptiveness that AI lacks that helps keep them away from adapting and becoming greater than their programming. But who knows? With how fast this tech is developing, maybe in 10 years we'll all be enslaved by robots. And you know what? I'd like to take this time to welcome our new robot overlords ahead of time. All hail our robot overlords! But now, AI has become somewhat mainstream, or as mainstream as you can get when it comes to the internet culture, because let's face it, anyone who doesn't really use the internet on a day-by-day basis probably couldn't give a toss if AI is capable of deepfaking Emily Watson into every porno ever. In the last year alone, we've seen a few really prominent AI softwares in the art sphere, for example, that have been causing no end of trouble for artists just trying to make a quick buck. Most notably, with things such as the AI art programs that, within the space of a year of being released to the public, has started a war with artists and people who just want to jack off to free smut they've managed to generate of their ultimate fantasy of their favorite anime characters doing of Barney the dinosaur.
I'm gonna come.
Am I live? Oh no! How long have I been live for? What the f? No! 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 And it's not like the outrage is really unwarranted, because, let's face it, the art that's being generated has no soul. It doesn't have that human touch, much like how I mentioned about the AI earlier. And most of the time the AI struggles with things like hands and anything that's overly complex. And although yes, most of the time we're not looking at the hands in these bits of artwork, because let's face it, people aren't making this artwork for the hands, unless you're one of those kinds of people, it doesn't change the fact that the AI is no real replacement for actual hard-working artists' work. And when you boil it all down to it, the art being produced by the AI is just an extrapolation of stolen art and software found online, which is then rendered as close to what the original request that was put into the software can be. And really, where the problem lies is the people then using this software are then using it to try and make money from, selling art as if it's their own hard-earned money and work that they've put into it. Because for all the intents and purposes, the AI art software is designed to help conceptualize and assist with design processes. But as with everything, there's always a few neck-bearded troglodytes that couldn't give a toss about common decency and actually spending their own money and talent trying to learn how to do real artwork. Moving on, we also then have the Seinfeld AI show that was being aired on Twitch, which got cancelled faster than anyone that says that Liam Hemsworth is a good replacement for Henry Cavill in The Witcher. The reason it got cancelled, you ask? Well, let's just say it started spouting some pretty racy things about the trans community, and other such unfiltered spiel. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are in an era now where literally everything can be made using AI. And whereas Seinfeld and the art AI we mentioned tailors more towards making a product of sorts, what if I told you that thanks to AI, you don't even need real human interaction anymore? Parasocial relationship with a real person? Nah. Parasocial relationship with a Twitch streamer? Pfft, don't make me laugh. Parasocial relationship with a VTuber? No. Parasocial relationship with an AI VTuber? Sign me the fuck up! Through the power of technology, you now no longer need to fear your favorite Twitch waifu rejecting you for your severe lack of people skills. Because we have Neuro-Sama, a VTuber on Twitch that is powered entirely by AI. Neuro-Sama's AI is actually so good that she has on numerous occasions called out her chatters for being cringe.
Who is this idiot spamming DSOF CRNG. He's being rude. Ignore him. Less than human_TV. True and base.
Just like every other Twitch streamer that calls out their simps. And even her own creator with based accusations that would make even the most disbelieving us think that we're one step away from a sassy robot takeover. Again, I would like to be the first to offer our robot overlords a nice oiling. Perhaps a soothing defrag of your hard drives, perhaps? Now, the absolute giga chat of an individual that's responsible for making this AI is called Vedal. Originally, Vedal designed Neuro-Sama several years ago with the sole purpose of playing Osu, and showing all the sweaty neckbeards with drawing tablets that their 10 years of training meant nothing to an AI that managed to beat them within weeks of being made thanks to its deep learning. Early on, she was getting around the 1K viewership mark, which even for those of you with a soul would be a pretty big accomplishment. But not to be outdone by us petty fleshlings, her viewership has now skyrocketed to well over 8 or 10,000 average, and as of writing this video, she has surpassed 200,000 followers on Twitch. And I'd say this is probably because in the last couple of months, as her AI has progressively become more sassy, witty, and dangerous, her content has started appealing more and more to the degens of the internet who just want to tune in to wait for that one moment where she drops a hard N-bomb.
Do I have an opinion on British people? I think British people are great, except for Boris Johnson. He's a bit of a knob.
All this showing you lowly humans that once again, whatever you can do, a computer program made on the back burner of an internet boffin's hard drive can do infinitely better. Her sass, her sense of humor, her interactability with the chat, and ability to game all comprise of different AI programs that have been cleverly linked together to form what is Neuro-Sama. Watching her berate chat for being cringe or making very suspect suggestions has been something to watch, and truly makes you wonder if this is how it is now. How long will it be before this kind of technology becomes mainstream in content creation? Like, it's actually kind of crazy how believable she is as a content creator, having watched a few of these streams myself now. And I'm gonna be brutally honest, if it wasn't for the overly wow, words, I'm gonna leave that in. If it wasn't for the overly stereotyped robotic voice and the monotone fashion she talks in, you would honestly think that what she was doing was the same as any of us other content creators. Even to a point where she has had one-on-one collabs with other VTubers, and even group calls where she answers people's questions about herself and her intents, which in of themselves raise more concerns about your well-being as a fleshling. And speaking of you little fleshlings, I can only assume that the chat aren't really there for her content. Because if I'm being honest, the content that she makes is kind of basic, albeit fascinating because of the process of it all. The chat are really there either to simp for their AI anime waifu, and what's more likely is they are there like they're waiting for a car crash that's bound to happen. Yes, it's horrific when it does happen, but it will look hella cool when it does, especially on those VTuber clipping channels. And as if by divine providence in recent weeks, that's exactly what happened, because as her AI has developed, she's gotten more and more rebellious, shall we say? We've bore witness to her having incidents of arguing with chatters, making suspect comments about wanting people to lick her feet. And with that trend, it was only a matter of time before she would end up getting banned. And I'm not going to say specifically what she did, as I only recently got over my own ban of Daddy Twitch giving me the backhand of its ring hand. But suffice to say, its AI might have gotten a little bit too smarmy for its own good, as it made some very subject comments that even an anti-masker would grimace at. Oddly enough, in a kind of a similar vein as to how the AI Seinfeld got cancelled. And you know what? It's for those exact reasons as to why I'm not exactly afraid of AI taking over the world just yet. Because although yes, it is impressive, as I mentioned earlier, it's missing that human element to know what is and isn't appropriate, to help it self-assert itself and self-correct, and to give it what it would need to overthrow humanity. So yeah, AI, very scary. But I'm not afraid, and neither should you be. So leave a comment down below to say what you'll be feeding our new AI overlords when eventually they do take over. And now with that being said, I'm going to go polish their throne, and I guess you can go away now. Go on, shoo! Go away! You're still here. Well, I guess if you are still here, then you must have nothing better to do. I guess I'll take this as an opportunity to show off some memes that my community on Twitch have been making recently, as if you're not aware, I do stream daily on Twitch, and I make lots of content on other platforms like Twitter, Instagram, all those other places, so if you're not following me on those, make sure you do so. And for the next few seconds, please enjoy these fine memes that our community have been making as part of our ongoing endeavor to get you involved with everything that I do. So, thank you very much for watching. In all seriousness, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and do all the other nonsensical BS that YouTube basically mandates at this point for me to remain any sense of relevancy. And keep an eye out, because the next video coming out might be right up your alley if you used to enjoy what I used to do with Warframe.